Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Whoey Ood, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. My name is Ben, and I'm here with my co-host Cam. How you doing today, Cam?
I am doing wonderful. I am ready to talk about Doctor Who. We just recorded, of course, we are like we say almost every episode, we record these in advance. So last night we recorded the Severance bonus episode. So I'm still riding that high on Severance, Ben. I still am just thinking about it, looking at those memes, looking at the fan cams. Have you seen how many fan cams there are of, in particular, Heliar? People love Heliar fan cams. I don't know if you see this on Twitter.
I don't really see a lot of like fan content. Twitter's like my go-to. Did I might have added that as like a muted word because I knew I was gonna watch it at some point, so I didn't want to get spoilers. Otherwise, I don't know why I'm not seeing anything. I'm sure Google, Apple, Elon, everybody knows at this point. The CIA has let them know.
Everyone knows that you have seen Severance, or just the world is seeing a Severance.
Well, I mean, like, my FBI agent has already let everybody know that, "Oh, yeah, this guy likes Severance. He's watched it."
Maybe he got fired. Elon was like, Ben's FBI agent had to cost too much money, Ben. Your agent was like through the roof.
How do you think your FBI agent is doing?
Oh, he has killed himself by now. He was just like, I can't handle this guy. Just straight
Damn.
to the news.
Well, today we're not talking about the FBI. Today, we are talking about Doctor Who.
Why can we not talk about Twin Peaks? Because that's what, like, is it? Am I the alone in that I just think of the FBI? I just think of like Gordon Cole, like that one shot of Gordon Cole like laying back in the desk with like the picture of the nuclear bomb. That's what the FBI is.
This is what we do in the FBI.
Exactly.
Such a good show. But this is not a Twin Peaks podcast. This is a Doctor Who podcast. And today we are talking about the robots of death.
A big one.
Oh, yeah. Big, kind of classic episode. There's a Big Finish spin-off show about it,
Wait, there is? What are you talking about?
at least set on this world or whatever. Yeah, The Robots, an 18-part
Oh,
series set on Caldor, following the rise of intelligent
yeah,
machines.
with Liv.
During the events of Doctor Who Ravenous 2, Liv Chenka left the Doctor just for 1 year. A year she would live on Kaldor and get to know her sister Tula all over again. So there's like an eighth Doctor companion just hanging out on Kaldor.
With the girl that's from Secret and Lies and the Satan Pit and the Impossible Planet two-potter. I don't know if she's playing the same character. Probably not, because it's Liv's sister. Probably another character that she's playing.
Claire Rushbrook?
Yeah.
I do not know. But yeah, it's that important enough to get an 18-part Big Finish series set here with these robots.
It's not saying much.
I suppose.
Do you not remember that there's multiple Big Finish stuff off of Death of the Daleks?
Off of Death to the Daleks?
Yeah.
What do you what?
There's multiple stories that continue that story of that planet that I already forget the name of.
I completely forget the name of as well. Oh, that's the one with the little guy.
Yeah, Bach. Not no, it's not Bach. Bach's the guy from the Damons.
Bilal.
Yeah.
Exelon. What? I'm not sure what it is that you're referring to.
I don't know either, but I know that's a fact. Nicholas Briggs loves Death of the Daleks.
Is there anything Daleks that he hates?
Well, the Day of the Daleks. He hates the voices in Day of the Daleks, so that's what he replaced them.
Yeah, but any like episodes?
He's never came out and said, like, you really can't do that if you're like that much involved in Doctor Who. You can't be like, oh, that sucks. Then that person that made that's gonna be like, hey, that's not fair.
Yeah, just burn that bridge for potential writers.
Moffat, Stephen Moffat, who's the guy that, of course, becomes the future showrunner of Doctor Who,
Of course.
he has some words about like Before I think before he wrote for the show, he was like, Doctor Who sucks. It's always been a sucky show. It just like the fan base really just grew about it, and there's just a bunch of sad nerds that just like this show. It's very funny in retrospect just to think of this guy that was so down on it went on to be the guy that wrote for it the most in the new series.
Mhm. And now it's great, thanks to him, probably. Anyway, The Robots of Death was broadcast from January 29th to February 19th, 1977.
We just missed it. We're recording this on the 22nd.
Ah, we almost missed the anniversary. This was written by Chris Boucher? I don't know. But
I think I'd said that last week. I think I was like, this is my best. This is my best.
But yeah, he wrote The Face of Evil back to back, directed by Michael E. Bryant.
Who, of course, did before this Revenge of the Cybermen, and he did The Green Death, and he did Death of the Daleks, right?
Yep.
So
And Colony in Space.
yeah, and the Sea Devil. So he has kind of a mixed Doctor Who filmography. I don't know what's the correct word just to say for television, but like his credits for Doctor Who are very mixed. They can either be some of the best episodes of the show or some of the worst.
And then, of course, produced by Philip Hinchcliffe. Robert Holmes is the script editor.
The penultimate of the Hinchcliffe era.
Yes. Cam, jumping right into it. What do you think of it?
I've seen this before. I watched it in high school when I was doing like, okay, I should watch some of like the big ones that I haven't seen. And of course, this is a big one that I did not see up until that point. So it's been around like 7, 8 years since I've seen it. I remember liking it the first time, and I like it now. I think Robots of Death is a good story. Shocker. I don't think I love it as much as some people do. I don't think that this is a 10 out of 10 story. I think it just does a lot of things really well. It's a good like double. I don't think it's a home run story. It's very good. Of course, the Doctor Who doing a who done it mystery story fits Doctor Who so well. We haven't got a Base Under Siege story in a long time, so it's refreshing to be back in that type of story. And again, the who done it stuff fits the Doctor character very well. We of course have like Sherlock and like the guy that's in the Agatha Christie, like forget his name, Hercules Penoit or some shit like that. It's something like that.
Poirot?
Perot. Yes. The Doctor can fit that mold of character very well just because he is just a smart character that can just say funny lines of dialogue and put together a mystery. And it's fun to watch Tom Baker in particular put together a mystery. And of course, the robot designs are very well done. And Doctor Who, a show of mixed design work in terms of the costume department and like the set department and just making the show department. They hit it out of the park when it comes to creating that robot design. It's kind of like Art Deco, but also there's a little bit of like maybe like Greek statue esque. It looks very good and fits the story very well. What did you think of Robots of Death, Ben?
I would agree. I think it is really good. I mean, we'll see. I don't know if it's a 10 out of 10, but definitely it's up there. Robots are cool, very iconic design, kind of like the perfect man design. But yeah, very iconic design. Really interesting mystery where a lot of twists and turns. I thought the first two episodes were not slow, but I couldn't quite get into. But those last two, where things start to really go down, I had a great time watching those. I don't know if you would agree with that sentiment.
Will agree. Like, I think that it's fun the first two parts, but like the third and fourth part is where it gets really fun. That's where the stakes get raised, and it's not a mystery longer. It becomes a struggle to fight against the robots that are all trying to kill them now, which is fun. I just want to point out that like talking about just the robot designs. Watching this, I was like, I would really want to own one of those action figures because I never owned one of those action figures as a kid of the Rock robots. I think that would be such a cool action figure to own. And sadly, they all go for expensive amounts of money, at least on the United States eBay. If I could find one for like $10, I probably would have picked it up because that'd be a nice thing to put on like a shelf. But nah, they screwed me over, Ben.
Damn.
Because you know what I'm saying. That is like that's a perfect like little statue or toy of the rock robots.
I'm looking it up. But yeah, that's cool. So what to discuss first? Guess anything more to say about the robots other than they're cool looking.
It's interesting that I love the idea that they don't have any like thought process. There's a couple times in the story where they just go straight to the obvious answer. Again, it makes sense of like, especially now we live in the world of like AI, where AI can't really like go outside of the box. It has its lane and it has to stick in its lane. It's like, no, we already checked the hoppers. Like, we have to move on. We can't double check the hoppers because like they don't have the thought process to be like, well, we checked them, but like they could be in there now. It could have felt maybe lame back in the 70s, but like now that we know more about computers and AI, it kind of makes even more like sense to a modern audience. You know what I mean, Ben?
Yeah, yeah. Where we have a greater understanding of how robots act because we have robots now, essentially.
Yeah, but like they're not gonna have the thought process to be like, well, like the and like do multiple and but what if this happened and then this happened and now I well like all the possibilities that a human can think of a robot's just gonna be like 1 = 2. I'm just gonna move on to 3. Like it doesn't care.
Speaking of human and robots, real quick, have you seen the video that's been floating around on Twitter of like the bipedal robot with like simulated muscles that is just like dangling on a hook,
I have.
convulsing in a dark room with lights flickering in the background?
Yes, I have. That's the future, Ben. Any of those videos that you see like of humans fucking with robots and like you're just kind of looking at like they're gonna look at this in a couple years from now and just be like, this is they were torturing us. Like the Boston Dynamic videos of this them pushing the robots down and them getting back up. It's just like this is gonna be they're gonna look at back at this and be like, this is why we had to kill all the humans because they kept on torturing us like that.
Yeah, I've seen like videos of like I think it's like I Show Speed or something, just like pushing a robot around and like it's like running for its life. And yeah,
Oh no, that one was fake. It was I think it was Kaisenet, the video you're thinking of.
uh,
And that one, like the comments did say like that was controlled by another person. So another person did like got it to act that way, which is kind of incredible that another human was able to like control it to be that cool. Because it really does look like he's like running, trying to run away from it because it's scared. You do add that personification to it.
oh yeah, I mean I saw just a clip of it on Twitter and I thought
Yeah.
there was some real bullying of AI going on.
Because it does look like it wants to like have emotions and saying get me the fuck out of here, but also like going back to Doctor Who, another thing that's like, great about it is their voices, like the monotone voices.
Hmm.
It works. You can imagine a version of this where the voices are terrible and it kills the whole story, but it adds so much to it. This like what's that iconic line, like it's like please do not throw hands at me, is that the line?
Yeah, please do not throw hands at me.
Like that line, you could imagine if it was like it was like a different voice that was like maybe like a hard voice of like a thick accent being like, please do not throw hands at me. It's like that would not have worked. Having it be like that, like very cold monotone voice makes that moment iconic and one of the iconic lines of the show. Like I knew that line before even watching the serial when I in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the voice is a very good fit. There's a world where they sound more robotic, more Dalek-y or real Cybermen, not the Revenge Cybermen, but like before that. But having them sound kind of more like Hal or something,
Yeah.
it works really well.
And of course, also another thing that works really well, it's very genre but it fits it so well as the red eyes when they're on like kill mode.
Oh yes.
It looks kind of bad and cheap, but also that's part of the charm of it. Is that it looks terrible, but it works very well. Russell T Davies reuses that in New Who for the Ood. Not to get too much of spoilers about the Ood, because of course if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, Ben has not seen Doctor Who. He's only seen Doctor Who up until Robots of Death.
I know Ood as a thing that exists with
Yeah.
people or something. So despite being our podcast namesake.
But like the Ood just steals us completely. It's just when their eyes turn red, they on kill mode, which is pretty funny that like Russell just thought, when something is good, why change it?
True.
While he also reused the whole killer robots in the same design in an episode he did called Voyage of the Dam, which is so heavily like you can just see like the I'll send you the robot design actually. You can totally tell that that was inspired by the Robots of Death, the rock robots.
Oh, absolutely.
It has the same look as if it was like from a Audio audience.
Except a little more angelic.
Yeah. In like the bigger picture, you can imagine that like they're in the same class of robot.
Hmm.
But yeah, do you have anything else to say about the robots, Ben? The rock robots?
We can divert slightly and talk about some of the robot characters. Like, what did you think of D84?
Just fantastic. The companionship with Tom is just perfect. Somebody on Letterboxd, let me find the review. Rory in Letterboxd said D84 should have been a full-time companion, and he 100% is right. Like, fuck Leela. I just want the Doctor roaming around the universe. Tom Baker's Doctor in particular, with a robot that has very limited like capabilities, and just the Doctor just keeps on like the robot like how we did in the story where it's just like I heard a scream. It's like, no, you don't understand. That was my scream. I heard a scream. I know that was that. No. I said it's my scream. I heard a scream. Like just that type of dynamic. Like we kind of got that with K9, but D84 would have just. Oh, I'm sad we didn't get more of it, Ben.
I know. Feel like that would have been a cool, almost companion. Someone who is intelligent, but the doctor can still explain things to, like, oh, you robot, you don't know how the world really works. But it also has that kind of like, have some dry wit, but also the loyalty, the self sacrifice. Could have been good to great. Could have been great.
Also, shout out before we move on too much from the robots. I do love that like they kind of are color coded. That we have like the main one that's silver. We have the other ones that are like the silver green, and then we have the D robots that are like black.
The dumb.
Yeah, it makes it real, you know. That's how like it would be in real life. That like you would go like color coordinate them and stuff. You're not giving it like more muted colors because if it was just like, oh, this is the blue one, this one's the green one, would have not made it feel as real if it was like gray, grayish green, and black. Feels like really real life science fiction colors.
Yeah. What did you think of the villain here, Terran Capel?
He works. I think that he's kind of some of the. We don't get that much of him. He just comes in like on pot 4. He works.
I mean, he's in disguise beforehand.
But like, you know what I mean. And, like they gave enough of a reason of why he would portray the humans, and like he wants to like let these robots have freedom and stuff. But it's not like it's not like he has the most three-dimensional character out there.
True.
Not the most interesting villain. It's just he was raised by robots.
Thinks they're superior.
What do you think of him, Ben?
He works. That's about it. Alrighty then. What?
No, Ben, you gotta give more than that. You just said two. You said 3 words about it, and then just said we're moving on.
I mean, yeah. I what you said. I don't have any more deeper thoughts about him. Would it have been more or less interesting if it was purely just a robot uprising without a human pulling the strings?
But that what makes it like an adult science fiction drama. Doctor Who is not an adult science fiction drama. You have to have the bad guy that's pulling the strings and having the mystery overall.
They can't just be evil robots.
They just can't be evil robots that like, there's like a virus on board. They're killing people. It's like, nah, we need to have some type of baddie. It would have been kind of cool if it was like the corporation was killing them, because like maybe the corporation thought they weren't needed, or like they knew some information, and that the corporation thought like they needed to die because that information couldn't get leaked. Some shit like that could have been an interesting version of this story, but I think it works just the same as it's an evil guy that just wants to kill humans.
Yeah,
But did they ever say why these humans in particular?
I think it's just the start of the greater revolution.
Just start out this one base. drill machine. I don't know what the exact words you call it.
It's a sand miner.
Yeah. The big drill bin that they live on.
I don't know. Should we go like beat by beat, or is there any kind of other broad topics we should touch on?
Is there enough to go beat by beat? Because it's just like the first story is just a mystery story.
Yeah.
We have that you have that great moment. Like we had to talk about it of in episode one when he's explaining the how the TARDIS works by the two boxes. That moment I think is one of the defining character moments of Tom Baker's Doctor.
Oh, yeah, that was really interesting. So, how about Leela? So this is her second story. First as like a real companion and not just like a character that befriends the doctor and is there, which is in all of the stories. But she's here. She's a companion. And I think she works well here. They do quite a lot of them being separated, and I think she establishes herself as being very capable. You know, she's definitely a warrior
Yeah.
and is inquisitive and charges ahead. And sometimes the doctor has to chase after her and bring her back. But she, I think, is a good element to have. Would the story have been better with Sarah Jane? I don't know.
I think Leela works for this story. I think like going off of what you said, like there's a good mix here of like 50-50 of like half the story is them together and then half the story is them separate. Like the first part is very much them together, then they separate, and then they get back together when they both get captured. And then when the story gets more and more, like episode three is pretty much them divided. Leela is good. The one of the aspects about Leela about this episode and just Leela in general that you could imagine a world where this character would be really boring, that they would have made her way too simple of a character, just always just being like, I am a dumb like tribes person. I don't know anything. I'm always asking questions and always like,
Yeah.
but Layla is not, she is smart. She is like in control and she does know what's up, you know?
Yeah, she definitely goes beyond the circumstances of her birth. She's very bright and intelligent and is able to have a presence that differently written companion with a similar background could not have. Like Katarina, I think is a close analog from an earlier era where she never really evolved beyond a girl from the past who doesn't know anything.
Yeah. And that sometimes gets into fights.
Yeah. Kinda reminds me of Jamie a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very good comparison. I don't think Tom and her have that chemistry that Pat and Fraser had.
Well, yeah, no.
It's definitely not as strong of a chemistry between the two of them. Like there's a chemistry there, but I don't think it's not like magnetic like Elizabeth and Tom.
Yeah, I don't get the sense that they're the best of friends, at least at this point in time.
No, yeah, it would still be weird at this point if they like if it was like, "Here's my best friend Leela," you'd be like, "No."
I mean, at what point is it acceptable to move on from Sarah? And this is my best friend.
But see, this is gonna be the question because I have not seen a lot of season 15, so we're gonna find out by the end of Invasion of Time if they ever get to that point, or if there's always just this same dynamic the whole entire run.
Yeah, it'll be a comparatively brief stint.
Yeah, only half 1.5 seasons.
Well, we'll see how much she evolves.
Yeah, and then Tom doesn't really have like a long companion after Sarah. They all like are a season and a half to a season after this.
Yeah, it's what? 16 is Romana 1, 17 Romana 2,
18 is like half for Mana 2.
K9 in there.
But K9 doesn't count. K9's just kind of there.
What? K9 isn't a real companion?
There's decent chunks of stories that he's just not present in the story. So, like,
Wow. And then we'll get like Tegan and those guys.
yeah, but it's hard to even count them as Fourth Doctor companions because at that point they're Davidson's companions at that point.
I mean, they're there.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. They have more stuff with Davidson. But yeah, no, Leela is good this episode. You never are like, who's this? Who is this new person? I don't really like Leela. She kind of just fits in right into the story.
Yeah. I mean, Adric has almost all of season 18, so he's like fourth Doctor companion, I would say.
I don't know how much of 18 he is. I don't know when he comes in.
I'm looking at it now. They're the third serial full circle and beyond.
Yeah,
So all but two of season 18, the majority,
yeah.
which Nissa and Tegan are only in there at the end.
Wait till you get to Adric, but
I'm so fucking hyped for Adric.
because I don't know anything about Star Trek Next Generation, but like I get a feeling that like he's kind of like who's the guy?
Is he a Riker?
No, 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 no. Who's like the smart kid that was played by not John Whedon?
Oh, Will Wheaton?
Well, Whedon, yeah. Who's that? His character name?
He oh, I should know this. Fake fan, fake fan. Wesley Crusher.
But like I feel like I'm like excited to see if you think that he's like kind of this
Kind of a whiz kid.
like yeah, he's the doctor equivalent of that, just like and this annoying kid that the fandom is just like fuck this guy, fucking hell.
Really? You don't like Adric?
No one likes Adric, in particular Tom Baker.
Wow. But that's looking way ahead. Back to Robots of Death. What do you think of Tom in this story? A lot of any funny moments?
Oh, a bunch of funny moments. This is at his point where has this character down, and well, he has had this character down since fucking day one.
Oh, for sure.
This is him just in his prime still of just every single line is just you could chuckle at. Everything is somewhat funny that he says. Like I said, the standout moment I would say is the two boxes in episode one of him explaining the TARDIS to Leela. And just like I love that moment with like I said, with everything with D84 is incredible. But like I'm having a blank on some like I probably should have wrote some of the lines down. But there was a couple lines in there that did get me. I thought, oh no, that is very funny. Because Tom is definitely the doctor that most like wishes that he could have been a comedian instead of a time traveler superhero.
Yeah.
He just wants to make people laugh, or not even just people laugh. He just wants to make himself laugh
Yeah, this is definitely a story where he's having a good time.
while people are just dying around him.
Speaking of Tom and going back to the villain, what did you think of the end of the story? How the villain is beat?
It works. It's kind of funny that like at the end when he's just like Halion doesn't work on the doctor, and he explains it as like he first explains it that he's a time lord and he has two hearts, and then he also explains like I have had a lot of time to learn. So it's kind of like, all right, is this because of your time lord, or is this just because you learn your voice to not get fucked up because of helium? Like,
Learn how to resist helium. I figured it's like he's talked before, like in the Space Pirates. He doesn't need as much oxygen as a human. And he was also in like what's the episode where Tom like hypnotizes Sarah when they're in like a zero oxygen environment so that she doesn't have to breathe. It's Terror of the Zygons.
yeah, 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 yeah.
He doesn't need to breathe as much, like because he was fine in there. So he probably resists helium in that manner. Yeah, like squeaky voice Leela.
It's funny that the doctor just keeps on calling her a mouse. It's very, very funny. But Ben, I think it's time. Let's just get into the cliffhangers, Ben. Unless you have more to say about Robots of Death.
Not really.
The side characters are kind of I wouldn't say they're the most memorable side characters.
Yeah,
The makeup is the thing that stands out to me the most.
that's what I was gonna say. The makeup and the costumes are all, I think, really excellent.
You think the makeup because like it's on that line of like, I don't know if this is good or bad.
I mean, it's a little cheesy, sure, but
Yeah.
I think it is very competently done.
Yeah, it fits the whole world. It doesn't feel like you're watching and being like, "Oh, this is really fucking cheap and bad." The world does feel like a world that they created with the sets design, the costume design, and then the makeup design on the humans, and then just the robots. They all feel like they fit together.
It's all very cohesive, yeah. So, cliffhangers. First one, the doctor's in the hopper and it starts to fill with sand and he's being buried alive.
Oh no.
Part two is there's damage to the sand miner and it's about to blow up. Part three, in Taryn Capel's workshop, a robot comes and starts to strangle the doctor.
which is the standout moment of you could say that's the standout moment of the whole episode, but also it is the cliffhanger that's the most iconic from this serial. One of the most iconic of the whole show.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the whole show.
Just like yeah, like it is, in my opinion. It this if I were to do a list of top 25 cliffhangers, I think this would make the spot.
I think it's solid.
Get excited, Ben, for when we get after survival, we're gonna be able to do that list of top 25 cliffhangers.
I'll put it on the list. Are there cliffhangers in modern Doctor Who?
Yeah, because like there's the occasional two-potter. So like when there's a two-potter, there's a cliffhanger, and then sometimes there's a cliffhanger.
Is there a cliffhanger for like an ad break?
No, no, because like BBC doesn't have ads. Remember?
There's no mid-roll ads?
No, there's no ads in the BBC because it's all government funded, no, license payers funded. So thank you, the license payers, for funding Doctor Who for 60 years. Now it's us Americans that are funding it for the majority, I think.
Thank you, Disney.
Have you seen all the news that like Doctor Who fans are constantly like Doctor Who fans are always obsessed with like the show's gonna get canceled, but right now they really think the show's gonna die because of Disney has really not like Disney really hasn't marketed the show that well.
Yeah, I saw on Reddit, I think, that the contract was for 26 episodes,
Yeah,
which with the anniversary, the 2 Christmas specials, and
2 seasons. And now I don't know if that also counts the war between the land and the sea. So like
that's what I saw. If you count the 5 episodes of War Between the Land and Sea and season 2, that's it. No Christmas 2026, no anything. Or Christmas 2025 even.
yeah.
That could be it. Because I know we're hyped for the war between the land and the sea.
But see, that's like it's not the podcast part, but like it's scares. Like I don't understand that decision because it's like you can do a spinoff. You should do a spinoff that people would actually want to watch. Why did you pick the fucking Sea Devils? How is Disney gonna market? Hey guys, hey all of you, like millions of people that have subscribed to Disney Plus. We have a show for you.
Yeah. Disney Plus original spin-off with a name that's too long.
Oh yeah, it's a terrible name.
Should just called it like Unit or something.
You probably that would make more sense. Or if you just or just not do Sea Devils because I don't think I want to be proven wrong. I want to go back to this in like a couple years and be like, I was so dumb, but like I don't know if Sea Devils really can suffice its own fucking spinoff, but we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe it'll be another class.
Well, we don't want another class, but we really don't want another class.
That's what I'm saying. We'll see if it's another class or if it's a Torchwood.
Yeah.
But Cam,
Yes.
how would you rate this episode?
Like I said earlier, I don't think this is a home run. I think this is just a really solid double. So, in terms of that, going to the list so far, do I think this is as good as Ark in Space? I do not. Do I think this is as good as The Seeds of Doom? I do not. Is this good as Deadly Assassin? I also do not. So, I'm just going to give this a solid 8.9. It's very good. I don't think it's great.
I'm thinking the same. Yeah, it's 8.9. Right below Ark in Space. Higher for me than the Deadly Assassin. But yeah.
But Doctor Who fans, I don't know if you saw, they disagree with us.
Yes. So the polls. So the Robots of Death in 2023 is ranked 4. It's also ranked 498. In 2009 and 2014, it was ranked 5th. So it's consistently top 5.
Which I disagree. I think I prefer Pyramids of Mars to this.
Pyramids of Mars is right above it.
Yeah.
It's right below City of Death, Genesis, and Pyramids.
Like I think I prefer Seeds of Doom to this. I prefer Ark in Space to this, and I prefer Deadly Assassin to this. Personally. My personal rankings. But overall in Doctor Who in 2014, this ranked number 11. So just barely almost was in the top 10 of all of Doctor Who.
Wow. Impressive.
Which just shows you how much the Hinchcliffe era is loved. It's going to be such an interesting journey, going right from like this, like Tom Baker peaks so much at the first first couple of seasons, and then it's gonna like we're gonna be going down to like we just watched a bunch of stories that are considered to be some of the best of Doctor Who, and now we're gonna go straight to like some of the ones that's considered the worst, with stories like Underworld and what's another one? The Armageddon Factor. and the Invisible Enemy in the Graham Williams era. So get ready, Ben. Get excited.
Yeah, I'm an open mind. Who knows? Maybe I will absolutely adore Underworld.
Do you know anything about Underworld, Ben?
Really bad CSO.
Like, I've never seen it.
Or fully CSO?
I forget, like, I think it maybe could have been even green screen at that point. Like, or it might just be or CSO. But like for the pictures and videos I've seen from it look terrible. So definitely the story I'm kind of most looking forward to next season. I'm not gonna lie. Because I'm hoping at least we're gonna get a good podcast out of it, even if it might not be a fun watching experience.
We'll see.
We might have something to talk about.
Yes. Well, I think that'll do it for tonight. Please be sure to check out our TikTok, our YouTube, our Spotify, Twitter, etc. We're everywhere. So check us out. And be sure to tune in next week for The Talons of Wang Chiang.
Get ready for the racism, Ben.
Ooh, I'm ready. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out, everyone.